The views and opinions expressed during Love and Life with Lana and Dave are those only of the speakers and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or the position of our podcast hosts or affiliates. Any content provided is not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, anyone, or anything. All right, let's do it.
You're listening to Love and Life with Lana and Dave, the podcast where logic is power and you take control. Thank you for tuning in, making the choice to listen in and get ideas for your own love and life. Now, here are your hosts, Lana Williams and David Vaccaro.
We know you've been waiting for part 2 of Dating Conversations. We won't keep you waiting. Here it is right now.
Right. So I
there's more authenticity.
I have a live story on this.
Okay.
Me and a friend of mine were in a bar.
Oh, I remember this.
Yes. And so we're in the bar, and there's these two absolutely beautiful women at the table, and they're surrounded by men. Same thing, probably more than 10, okay? And somebody wanted to introduce me to them. So I reached out through all the people. I shook their hand, said, "Nice to meet you." And I said to my friend, "Come on, let's go." And he goes, "Why?" And I go, "Come on, let's go." When I'm not one of these morons. I'm just not. It's not who I am. Right. And I didn't want to look like a fool like they did. I looked at them and I go, they look like a bunch of idiots. I'm not doing that because
it looks like I call it the cattle call.
Oh my God, it was horrendous. So we left and we went, and he goes, "Why do we have to sit so far away?" I go, "Just come sit over here." So we went and we sat at a table. Not 10 minutes later, here come those two girls, sat at the table right next to us. Left all those guys because they wanted to. And then I literally got up to go smoke a cigarette, and I walked by and I go, you got rid of all your fans? And she goes, "I know, right?" And I kept walking. I went outside to smoke. I just started a conversation. I came back in, and she goes, "Why are you guys sitting back here by yourself?" I go, "It's nice and quiet." And she goes, "Yeah, quiet's kind of nice." And I said, "You guys want to do a shot?" And they go, "Yeah, we'll do shots." And we ended up with them all night, partying with them all night. And and the point is because we didn't go in there and act like
you weren't in there trying to like throw a net over her. I call it toe tagging. You're not trying to
I wasn't trying
close
to make
the deal.
Yeah, no, there was no deal closing at all. In fact, I've got a picture of her giving me the finger because later that night she wanted to go home with us, and her friend didn't like my friend, and I wasn't going to leave my friend in the bar by himself, and she got mad at me because I turned her down. She was from another country, so she wanted the one night stand in the United States, and she didn't get it. And I literally have the picture of her like right in my face with her middle finger, because probably no guy would ever be like, no, but I was not going to be a douche to my friend. I I look at the picture and I go, wow, what was I thinking?
There's the strategy also of, and I have tried to tell guys this. As a woman, when a guy comes up to you, usually it's, when somebody comes up and gives you the sales pitch, the wall goes up, right? Because you're like, okay, what does this guy want? That's the first thing that most women think. It depends on their approach, but most guys have really, especially now, I think it's getting worse. They have like unrehearsed, rusty, I don't want to say uneducated. That's not the word I'm looking for. But like they're not really sure of how to approach. They're not aware of body language. They don't have any awareness of like how they're coming off.
They don't. The correct terminology here is learn to read the room. Even if it's one person, it's still a room. Read the room. If you're trying to talk to a girl and she's backing up, or she keeps talking to her friend and she's kind of ignoring, you leave. You look like an idiot.
Right. I don't know what it is. Is it like that? Is it that a guy sees a woman and he starts talking to her and she's being polite, and because he's so close to her in proximity that he feels like he's so close to getting what he wants that he can't back off? I don't really know.
I don't know. Well, wait. We had one of those. Well, you were being so nice to me, right? That guy said it. That's I think a lot of guys are running down that bullshit rabbit hole, thinking that if somebody's being nice to them, they like them. And I've heard it my whole life. I mean, I've always been nice. I don't care if somebody's beautiful or not. I'm polite and nice to them. And I've been accused of being a flirt. because I'm being nice to somebody. And so I think
because
that
it's a contrast to.
Yeah, I think it's grown over the period of time. The nicety means when you're being nice to somebody, it means you're interested. I'm nice to everybody. So I would love to see somebody gauge me, what they think I like and what I don't like based upon who I'm being nice to, because you'll think I like the old lady next door that's in her 80s and I'm being wicked nice and I'm flirting with her more so because it makes her giddy, and I love seeing that, right?
Well, some people are they can't see, they see everything in black and white. They just can't
I don't get
see
it.
the gray area of anything.
Yeah.
And so if you're talking to someone from the opposite sex, that brings us back to the story of, you can't have friends of the opposite sex, but if you're a lesbian and you have friends of the same sex, isn't that different?
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything to do with whether somebody's...
Well, what if you're bisexual? You can't have any friends at all?
That's what I'm saying. There are people who have this specific mindset that, if you're,
they do.
If you're talking to anybody that's not them, then there's some kind of really nefarious reason for it or whatever.
Right. And
which is crazy.
The only thing, a lot of women, and because I'm only speaking from my own personal experience, and guys I'm sure do the same. I know they do the same thing too, because I watch comedians, and the comedians are always talking about, if she has a guy friend, she'll be like, oh, no, and he's like, nah, he wants to fuck you, and and you've seen it, right? Have you seen the videos that they do now? They're like, you guys are best friends. You call her boyfriend and say you want to hook up, and they all say yes. It's crazy to me. It's like, wow, that's fucked up. One was awesome because he goes, what's wrong with you? And he goes, I'll talk to you later. And he hangs up on her and immediately calls his girlfriend and goes, what the hell's going on with so-and-so? She's asking me to come over and hitting me up, and this is crazy. One guy. And there's a whole, they got a whole thing on YouTube of this. And of course, a lot of it's probably bullshit too, because, likes.
Maybe.
Yeah, who knows? But we have another one, unless you have something else.
I just wanted to say one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, who we are friends with and whether or not they want to sleep with us. If you try to tell us, hey, this guy's not your friend, he's just looking to sleep with you, what you're telling us is that you don't think we have any discrimination about something like that. That we can't control it. We have no choice in the matter.
Right. That was just stupid.
And you don't trust us.
Yes,
I mean, if we don't want to sleep with this person, and guys, let's be honest, if your girlfriend has a male friend and she wanted to sleep with him, you probably wouldn't be there. You just wouldn't be her boyfriend.
She'd be sleeping
already. Yeah, so it would have already happened. With the exception of is she really good friends with her ex-boyfriend to the point where they're together every day? That's another story.
This is like the saying I say all the time. If I have a girlfriend, I want her to have the ability to cheat. Do I want her to cheat? Of course I don't. But I want her to have the ability. The ability needs to be there. Look, I can take anybody on this planet. I can take the most beautiful woman on this planet, if there is one, and lock her in my basement and put a chain around her leg, and she'll be loyal to me because I make her. And that's the thing, is I never want to make anybody be loyal to me. And this is what people are doing these days, is they're preventing friendships and they're preventing anything. I don't want you on Facebook. I don't want you this. I don't want that. I don't want this. Well, okay, so basically you think that you have the ability to prevent me from sleeping with somebody else, because guess what? You sure as shit don't.
No.
You don't. You never have that ability.
You're actually going to push somebody. I mean,
100%.
we've had that conversation. If you
I've
keep screaming at somebody about something you think they did, they're going to eventually say, well, why? I might as well do it. I'm getting
I was in a relationship that I traveled a lot for work, and she started accusing me of cheating. And I was like, this is ridiculous, because I'm not a cheater, and I'm not cheating. And I literally said to her one time, I go, okay, let's sit down for a minute. I go, I cannot be more loyal to you. I'm 100% loyal to you. There's not 101% of anything. It's 100%. And you're asking me to, there's nothing more I can do. There's nothing more I can do.
That's
for you.
the thing.
That's your issue. You can accuse me of anything you want. Therapy. Yeah, you need something, right? Because, if I'm in a relationship and I'm loyal and I gave you my word, that's my word. And trust me when I tell you. And then it came down to the point that was the same person. I said, well, listen, I'm going out tonight. I'm going to a bar. I'm going to find somebody. I'm going to have sex. Should I come home or are we breaking up? That was that same person, by the way. But I was being accused of all that
Mm-hmm.
for a long time, and it was terrible. It got bad, and
you
can't
speak
do that.
to kind of segue. It does speak to the people that we're talking about that are on dating sites and messaging and all that kind of stuff. So many people are not emotionally and mentally healthy, and this is how they begin the dating process. Like, a lot of people just really should just shut these things off and go talk to somebody for a while.
Yeah,
and come back, but they don't.
There are people out there that accept that too. By the way, I will tell you, and I actually have the text, and I actually kept it because I didn't even believe that it was kind of a joke initially. And she was asking me in a text, she's like, what kind of girl are you attracted to? And I described somebody, and she goes, well, that sounds like me. And jokingly, I said, well, maybe we should fucking see if we're compatible. And she said, okay. And I was like, what? Now, does that mean, like, we had been talking for a while too, and we were talking like that to each other already. So it wasn't like that conversation where he's like, oh, Netflix and chill, and she's like, nah. And he's like, well, that means you don't want to fuck? And she's like, what? Like, no. Yeah. Well, you were nice to me at lunch. Nah. That was a completely different thing. But it was also kind of an eye-opener to me that, oh my God, there are people that are looking for, just that too. And that's okay. As long as it's discussed of, what it is, right? And if that's what you're looking for, say so. Say so.
Right.
It's
well,
okay.
I mean, that's the case.
It is okay to go on a dating site and
some people don't want the people that they just want to sleep with to have options. That's the reason they keep this information from them, right?
Of course, yes.
So as much as you want to say, hey, you should be straight about what you want, nobody that wants the people that they have on the string to stay on ice is going to tell those people anything.
That's the back burner
There's
scenario.
No way to prevent it.
I hate that, right? So
I do too, but it's
I hate it, and it is very common, and I can't stand it. Look, here's the thing: if I want a friend with benefits, right? We have an agreement. If we have an agreement, we become friends, or even if we don't, if we have an agreement that, listen, when we're sleeping together, we don't sleep with anybody else unless we discuss it first, just for the sake of safety or whatever. That's fine. And that's okay to do. And then if that's what you're looking for, you can say so. Listen, I'm not going to – when I was younger, there were sites that you could go on and you could say, this is what I'm looking for. And there are people that will respond to those and be like, that's what I'm looking for too. And, there are guys, if believe it or not, there are women out there and girls. There are men out there. It's kind of weird saying there are men out there because duh. But you can literally say, I'm looking for somebody to, for just oral sex. And there are people that will respond to that and be like, yep, hello, I'm the one. And
that's cool.
And that's fine.
Always
if that's
cool,
what,
as long as everybody's
good with it, right? But look, if you're looking, I never liked lying and to get somebody. If you just want to get laid, have the balls to say so. Have the balls.
Right.
That would be like me. I've been had a friends with benefits on and off for 7 years now. And I've never once led her to believe that I love her. I mean, we're really good friends. But I've never let her believe that, I'm here, I'm going to be your boyfriend, I'm going to marry you, that's because there are people that will do that just to get laid. And that's insane to me. That is crazy to me.
They will tell you whatever.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
I'll tell you a quick story, only because I think you might appreciate this. So an ex of mine and I were hanging out, and there's this kid that he knew that we all got together. It's a long story, but the kid that he knew was like with this girl for a while, and he used to tell me stories. Oh, she's crazy. I don't know what I'm going to do. We're going back and forth, blah, blah, blah. And he'd cheat on her, and he was very honest with me about that. I didn't know his girlfriend. I just kind of knew him from my ex. And so I would talk to him and I'd be like, dude, what do you mean you, oh yeah, well, I would see, what did he say? We get together like Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays or something like that. And then he would tell me like that the other nights he would be off sleeping with other women. And I said, how do you know that the nights that you don't see her, that she's not out sleeping with other men? And he's like, well, because she would never do that. And I'm like, well, you're doing it. He lost his mind on me over that. And I'm like, she doesn't know what you're doing. How do you know what she's doing?
Right.
Like, you're not there. You're off doing something else. You have no idea whether she's in the house knitting a sweater or out somewhere. You have no idea. And he's like, well, she better not be, because if she is, that's the end of it. And I'm like, that's funny that you are having a problem with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nope. She couldn't. She had to be sitting in that house waiting for him. But like, he could just go off and do whatever he wanted and never tell her. Anyway.
Well, of course. I mean, we all can, right? I mean, that's
right.
That's life.
But I'm saying that worked for him. That was his scenario. That was the way he wanted it. And he didn't want her to have anything else. But he wanted to go and do whatever he wanted to do. And I thought that was fucked up. So I made sure that he lost a lot of sleep over what she might be doing.
There you go. Good for you. Because there are a lot of people that are in those types of relationships. I've met women, and again, where they let their man go out and fuck around with other people, and they're not allowed to, and they don't. And I don't get that. Maybe they are okay with that. Whatever.
That's
maybe
the only, like I said,
it
would only be something where if she's okay with it, if she seriously doesn't want to, then that's her choice. I get it.
Right.
But the thing where she's in the dark about it and nobody tells her, that's crazy.
That's bullshit. If you're out, that's cheating, right? You're straight up cheating,
of course it is.
and you lead her to believe that she's the only one. That's shitty. Now we have this other one I definitely want to do. It's the is that child's that one.
Yep.
It starts there. And it goes to,
excuse me, yes, this is my screenshot. This is mine.
That's awesome. And yeah, I know, because I recognize the thing here. So go ahead. So the guy sent her a picture of his penis, and go ahead.
Yep. So I'm on a dating site, and I'm just shooting the shit with some dude, and then he suddenly sends me like a crotch shot. And I had learned somewhere that it would be both insulting. Well, all right.
You got to read it. We got to read it first, and then we'll talk about it.
So he sends it to me, and I say, is that a child's genitalia? That's gross. I'm reporting this.
Who you reporting me to? Plenty of Fish? They don't care, as long as I'm not rude there. It's 1.5 inches wide, so make jokes all you want, but I know you've never had one this wide.
So of course, I send a report. Like, I send a copy of the report that I put through. Go ahead. And
it says, the copy of the report is make a cyber tip line report. And it says, what are you reporting? It says child pornography. And it says, from chat, instant messaging.
Yeah, what did the internet
and he's like, LOL, it's my dick, not child porn, stupid. Go ahead and file a false report. You're the one going to jail. You're not even that hot.
He was like, he had no idea what to say. So he was just trying to throw stuff at me.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's both insulting and unnerving to tell a guy, oh, I'm sorry, that looks like a child's penis. Most guys don't want to hear that. And on top of it, getting offended that it's a child's penis and thinking that you're a pedophile and then trying to report you. Mm-hmm. And if you're a guy online and you get that, you can get all as mad as you want, but you don't really ever know if that report went through. And that was why I did it.
Right. Yeah, because he don't know.
He's just like, for a good 2 or 3 weeks, he was waiting for a phone call, and he wasn't sure if he was going to get it.
Yeah, and as well he should, right? Listen, guys. Showing your pecker to somebody that doesn't ask for it is so stupid. And I'll tell you, I've gotten vagina pictures from people I didn't ask for.
That's gross too.
Which is shocking to me. Listen, and I'm going to say this straight up. I don't hate vaginas. So to me, there has been some that they got sent to me unsolicited, and I was like, yuck. And I've had people straight up ask me, will you send me a dick pic? And I do. I send him a picture, and I found this one, and I don't know if it's an Irish guy or what. I don't know what it is, but it's the smallest penis I've ever seen in a big red bush, and I send that out. I do. I sent it out, and yep. Yeah. I've actually had people go, "Oh, nice," because they don't know what to say. I mean, look, I almost want to send it to you so you can see what it is, and you're going to be like, "Oh my god." It's just and I'm just curious of what the response is going to be.
Right.
I
mean, online is weird because a lot of stuff happens that's just random. And you can be talking to somebody about lawn furniture and like suddenly you'll get a picture of their crotch and you're like, it's whiplash. It's just whiplash. It's just a sudden change of topic. You didn't ask for it. You don't know what it's supposed to be for. You're like,
it's like,
where am I going from here?
Yeah, like what guys, what do you think she's going to do? Go, oh my God, I love that. Do you think, okay, so listen.
Because I think men are visually, guys
fantasize, right? So would be, look, there's a process to get it. If you want to get a woman turned on, which you can definitely do that. That's not how you do it. A straight up dick pic ain't going to do it, or a straight picture of people fucking ain't going to do it. It's a conversation that kind of leads in that direction. And if she goes in that direction with you, it's okay to continue that on because there's a thing called cybersex. Sure, that's acceptable. But, you know, that's like going up to a girl and going, hey, how's your day going? Here's my dick. I mean, that's just what you think she's going to go, oh my God, like, I'm so turned on. Like,
my day's okay. I had a rough day at work. Whoa, what the fuck is that?
Well, thank God. Let me drop to my knees and take care of that immediately. I mean, it's the silliest thing I've ever heard. And I don't get it. I just don't.
Well, okay, so now we're back to this. I believe part of it is the flasher thing. Like there are guys that have to expose themselves. There's some kind of mental disorder or something going on where this is how they feel. I do believe a lot of those guys are now online. So some of it is that.
Okay.
I also think some of it is this, and I don't know you're not going to really get it because it's not how you are.
Right.
But I believe there's some guys out there that are just not getting any kind of dick attention. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to touch it.
Maybe.
Nobody cares about it.
So they just
to them,
pitches.
It's the closest they're ever going to get to anybody seeing it ever.
Oh, that's a shame. That's too
bad.
Now,
so I don't think a lot of those guys are ever really looking.
Well, okay.
So they don't care if it's offensive to you.
I will never say who, but I know people personally that have sent dick pics. And the reason I know them personally because they've sent it to females that I know, and the females reach out to me and going, hey, I got a dick pic from so-and-so. And I'm like, wow, really? That's not something I would expect. You know what I mean? So,
right.
You know, because
there you go.
These are people that
I
know.
People you know, and you didn't expect it.
Yeah.
It's way easier for somebody you've never met to do it.
Yeah.
When you look at it that way.
Well, okay, so they haven't met these people. They don't know that the issue is.
No, but you know them. Like, in other words, I'm saying you know the
guys
character of the
and
person.
I know the girls, but they must have met them somehow through my friends list or somebody they commented, and then next thing you know, something like that. And that's how that usually happens. And it's shocking to me. Like, I think there's been 4 or 5 guys that I know personally who've gotten reports from girls saying, hey, I received a dick pic from this guy. Do you know him? And I'm like, yeah, I do. That's fucking crazy. You know, I've literally only ever questioned one of them and said, what the fuck? And that person was like, I meant to send it to somebody else. That was an accident. Could have been.
Yeah, well, as a woman, can I just tell you that is a common excuse?
Yes, it is. Yes,
we hear that a lot.
Of course it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I texted the wrong person.
I know that too because I've received, I can't tell you how many people accidentally text me and send me pictures of their boob and they're like, oh my God, I didn't mean to send that. I meant to send this picture. And I'm like, you know, it just so happens.
I know.
I get it. So, you know, whatever. I mean, look.
You know, backpedaling is a fun thing, I guess.
Yeah.
And I know for women, I'm just gonna go down the line a little bit and say, well, let's get away from the dick pic. But if we start talking to a guy and we're like, hi, how are you? I mean, 3 sentences in, guys are like starting. Not every guy we talk to, obviously, but it's just common now that guys are like just throwing out sex favors as requests.
Yep.
Hey, I've known you for 3 minutes. Do you give head? Do you like anal? You know, it's kind of like, whoa.
Well, that's one that I was going to read here, and I'm going to, and you already know what the response is because this was one of your texts.
Yes, this
is a guy. This
is a classic.
Here I go right here. Ready? The guy says, have you ever played with a guy's butt? And you said.
And I said, can I at least drink my coffee first before I have to read shit like this? And that's the extent of that conversation.
That was the whole conversation. Yeah, that was phenomenal, right?
Yep, so, just like there are guys that they're right out of the gate are just vulgar.
Yeah. So
you're just kind of like
that's vulgar. Okay, listen, watch this, guys. This is for the guys, right? Mm-hmm. is there anything wrong with that conversation? Have you ever played with a guy's butt before? The answer is no, but there should have been a lot more conversation that was leading towards questions like that, right? Like, I'll give you an example. One of the things that I like to do when I've been conversating with somebody for a long period of time is we play this game called Q&A, and everybody should try it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. You can ask any question you want, and the person has to answer it 100% truthful. And then they get to ask you a question. You have to answer it 100% truthful. Now, a lot of times I find I don't even lead the questions to sexual stuff. The women go there first after a lot of questions have been asked, right? They go
I really
there.
wish most men out there, like most men, would just not be sexual until they get sexual and then respond to it.
Yes, because when a woman gets sexual, first, look, it's very Here's a fact. Here's a scientific fact.
Look.
A woman, right, look and listen. A woman has a nerve that literally connects to her brain that she has to be mentally stimulated to be turned on. A guy does not need to be mentally stimulated. A guy could literally be tied down and somebody could be taking advantage of him, whether it's a male or female or whatever. They've done tests, and the guy still is going to get an erection. He's still going to possibly get off without even wanting that to be happening, okay?
Right.
At a younger age. Now, as you get older, it's a little bit different, but women are not the same when it comes to that. So, guys, if the woman starts talking about sexual stuff, don't just jump right in either. You know, think about how you would have sex with a woman, right? If a woman says, let's go lay down. You're not just going to rip her pants off and jam your fingers with you're going to take your time. You're going to have foreplay. It's the same thing with conversation. So if a woman brings up sexual stuff, ease into it with her. Follow her lead. She'll go there. I promise you.
You know,
if she
2
chooses
episodes ago, we had a discussion about delayed gratification.
Yes.
Maybe you should, whoever you are, should go back and listen to that episode.
That instant gratification is always a problem. Always.
It is.
And that's what you're going for instant gratification. You automatically break it off, right? So think about this. And you can ask any lady you know, if you have a female friend, even if you're just friends with her, even if it's your sister, say, hey, listen, if you start talking about like light sex stuff with a guy and all of a sudden he starts getting really rude and be like, do you like giving blowjobs and, being really vulgar, is that turn you on or is it going to turn you off? And she's probably going to say, no, that would turn me off. You got to kind of ease into it. It's the same thing.
I do believe, though, that some guys, I believe that they're trying to be efficient. And as an analytical,
that's not a place to be
is
efficient.
key for me. It isn't, but I respect the wish to be efficient. I think that the practice of what they're doing to be efficient is absolutely horrible.
Right.
But obviously you want to make sure that the person you're talking to is somebody that you're sexually compatible with. But like, that's way too soon. But I understand that you're trying to save time. And I will always be respectful of people who are trying to save time because efficiency is like the most important thing to me. I think efficiency actually turns me on. I think I would actually be sexually attracted to efficiency.
Right. Okay.
That's how much I love it.
Yeah.
However, tact is good with
a dick pic
like
is
this.
not efficient.
No.
It's
well,
like,
it is efficient in the sense that you're going to find somebody somebody's quickly going to stop bothering you with you. Like you're done with the conversation. If you want it to be over, that's sufficient.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't know. I don't know that there are women maybe that are out looking just for sex.
Absolutely. There are,
and maybe
100%.
Maybe one would respond quickly with somebody like that.
I don't
like,
know
hey,
about
okay.
that. I don't think so.
I don't know.
I really don't.
I don't know.
I don't think so. Unless the guy's like, model material and he's got like a perfect penis and he's got abs and he's a really handsome model looking guy, but chances are pretty good he's not approaching you like that. And if he is, he's probably approaching 900 other people like that, and you're probably going to get, something pretty dirty. So,
So what do you think of, I just lost my train of thought. In the sense that it isn't efficient, don't you think that a guy that uses that kind of approach, I always say there's somebody out there must have been okay with that, because I don't think any guy would completely do something over and over and over and over again without some kind of verification that like it worked at some point, even if it's one person.
I don't know. I mean, look, I know, and you do too, I'm sure, male strippers, for example, Sure, they can have that approach.
No, I mean,
it does work for them because the girl is already in a fantasy world, right? So it's a fantasy thing, right? And there are women that talk about that too. And so, yes, I suppose I don't know if a dick pic has ever. I don't know. I'd love to meet the girl, and I'd love to have her on my show. If somebody sends her a dick pic, she goes and meets with them, and they have great sex.
Or even just even whether or not she meets with them, it could just be that she's happy to get it. I don't know, but some way that these guys must have gotten one good response out of it in order to. Well, I
do know somebody that's very excited to get them because she's got a whole plethora of them because she's an attractive girl and she's making a coffee table book called Unsolicited Dick Pics. So
actually, I have a couple friends who can collect them too because they like to send them back.
Yeah. I mean,
one guy sends it and she sends back one. Hey, look at it. I bet your mine's better than yours.
Yeah, right. So that's pretty crazy, but
yeah.
So so. That has been a crazy thing. We hope you understand now that hopefully the guys will kind of get, what they need to do if they really want to get to that point. And I get it. And the conversations that we read today, those are people that have some sort of mental disorders, and they're really going to have a tough time meeting anybody. It's just unless the person.
Unfortunately, though, it's really common. It's
I know,
not just those people. There's so many guys that are like this.
It's sad to say they do end up in relationships too, but the women that they end up in relationships with have mental problems as well because nobody's really going to deal with that shit. If that's what's going on and it's acceptable, then if somebody's accepting that, she's got issues too. Or he has issues if he's.
I would say that
too.
I would say I don't know about it. I'd say mental problems, but I would definitely say emotionally issues, that's trauma issues, trauma bonding.
Well, that's a mental issue, a trauma issue.
I guess. But
so
I also wanted to say too that for women that don't, like I said, it is good that women are learning about stuff like this now. But in the future, make sure that if you feel uncomfortable about something, then you say no. If somebody tells you or tries to make you feel guilty for not meeting them at their house or at in some dark corner somewhere or a hike in the woods or whatever. It doesn't matter whether or not they throw a tantrum when you tell them no. That's their way of trying to get you to cave. Don't ever give into that.
That's not.
Who cares if they're not happy with your answer? It's too bad. Right. It's just too bad. They shouldn't ask dumb shit like that.
I can't even imagine. I almost want to do a test because I have opportunity to meet a lot of people and I don't. Because I'm not interested in them. I would love to probably, I'm going to have a conversation and be like, okay, we can meet. Would you like to meet and go hiking? We can meet in these woods,
Right.
And I'm curious if somebody's going to say, well, yeah, I'll meet you. And I'm going to go, no, I'm not. Listen, what is wrong with you? Because, you don't know me.
Some of us women are, we might just be bringing you into the woods. So
that's true too. I mean, I don't even feel if a woman said to me, "Meet me in the woods," I'd probably be like, "Hell no, I don't want what."
Well, it's funny because I will say to guys, if you listen to me, you told her to meet you at your house, and you're mad that she said no. If you meet a woman who says yes, you might want to question that woman.
Yeah.
Because when something seems really easy like that, and I'll not name, I have a friend of mine who a woman moved in with him essentially and began a relationship with him while he was still living with his ex, who they had a kid together. Now they weren't living together as a couple, but she was living in the same property. They lived in upstairs, downstairs. His ex lived upstairs in rented apartment, but still, I had said to him forever, it's going to be tough for somebody to move in with you while you're
sure.
And someone did, and I said to him, "That's if I were you, I'd question that woman. What's up with that? Why is she okay with that?"
Right.
And it turned out she was a little bit. She was cuckoo.
Right. So that's the thing.
I'm not
too,
saying that everyone is, but I'm just saying when somebody's
do whatever you choose. Just be careful.
Well,
I mean, that's the thing, right? What you choose. I mean, look, there might be one out there who go, yeah, I'll go meet him at his house. I'm fully armed. I'm not afraid. You know, maybe she can take care of herself. Maybe she could kick his ass. Maybe she's very confident in that. Who knows?
Or maybe she's coming. Oh, guys, I got to tell you this. When somebody says, "Yeah, I'll be over," you don't know if you don't know who you're dealing with. 3 guys could show up at your house and rip you off. You don't know.
That's right.
So, for your own, if for no other reason, if you don't want to make women feel safe, then fine. But at least you could just protect yourself.
Yeah.
From whoever's coming to your house, you give somebody your address, you don't know if she's going to get out of the car with 3 dudes with crowbars.
You have no idea. That's right. So
they're going to come in and bash your head in and take all of your stuff. You don't know.
That's exactly what I would think. If somebody said, hey, meet me, we'll go for a hike, meet me in the woods. And I like walking in the woods at night and meet me in the woods. I'd be like, I'm not going in the woods because I'm going to take 5 steps into the woods and then 12 people are going to jump out and beat the shit out of me and do some witchcraft ritual and I'm going to be hanging from a tree. I'm not doing it.
I
don't know. And I'm not afraid. I can take care of myself, but I don't know if I could take care of myself if 12 women, attack me, and I don't know what would happen. Right. Maybe I'd like it. I don't know.
And the last thing I wanted to say was if somebody's not comfortable, regardless if you're a man or a woman, if somebody's not comfortable with your boundary,
your decisions, sure.
If you're talking to them and you say, listen, I feel better if we do it this way because it makes me feel comfortable.
Yep.
And you disrespect that to me makes you that makes you an undateable.
Yeah. It
prospect.
Does. It does. Yeah.
And that person should immediately stop speaking to you. If you say, well, I like you and I want to get to know you, but I don't give a shit if you feel safe or not. That's basically what they're telling you.
Yeah. Yeah. Think about that.
Right. So that's the thing. But anyway.
Yeah. So if somebody feels uncomfortable and they say, I'd like to meet you in a safe place first, that's understandable. First of all,
remember my ex that said to me, "Hey, every time we go out, you want to bring your car. You bring your car as long as you feel like you need to bring your car. That's fine with me."
Yes, and I do.
Sure, that is what you do. But what I'm saying is, there are guys that are like, "No, I want to pick you up and drop you off. I want you in my car." It felt more comfortable for me to take my car, and he didn't do it to be an asshole or to be sarcastic. He really wanted me to feel comfortable.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
And he was completely harmless, but he wanted me to feel like when I was ready to get in his car, I'll get in his car, but to have my car made, it was a security blanket for me. 100%. And he wanted me to have that.
I do it with all my friends even. And I trust my friends. I just want to be able to go when I want to go.
That's true, but it's not a matter of safety for you.
I honestly, I tried this woman that I was talking to from a dating site. I was at a bar and she's like, "Oh, come get me." And I go, "Why don't you just drive here?" Yeah. I don't want to come get you because, I'd like us to be in separate cars. I never met her before. So we ended up never meeting, but I refused to, and I'm not being an asshole. I don't want to pick her up and bring her with me. What if I can't get her out of the bar? How do I know she's not some drunk and she's going to be dancing on the table and I'm going, well, come on, let's go. And she's like, oh, yeah, because I've seen it. I've seen girls and guys just being like, I'm not going, stop being such a party pooper. Let's party. And nope, I could leave. And she can drive herself home or call a cab or whatever. But yeah, I don't want to be responsible for somebody that I don't know. That's not something I ever.
And also, again, come get me. You don't really know who you're dealing with.
Right.
You could show up their house and they could be just pissed off at their husband or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the husband could come running out and be like, "Are you picking up my wife?" I mean, you just really don't know.
Oh, it's happened.
What's meeting you when you get there?
I actually went and picked somebody up once, and a guy came out with a bat. Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
And it absolutely happened. And I was picking her up and I knew her from online. I never met her in person. And she just wanted to get out of the house, is what she said. I'm bored. I want to get out of the house. And when I got there, sure as hell, this guy comes out of the house with a bat. And I leaned out my window and I go, "Be careful." I go, "Because you get close with that bat, I'm going to protect myself." And he threw the bat on the ground and went back in the house. But that could have went a really bad way. I handle myself differently under pressure. I'm okay. I'm good with pressure. But if I started panicking, he would have come over and probably bashed me with the bat. I didn't give him a chance to come to me with the bat. I threw on my best.
I mean, obviously that guy should have not hit anybody with a bat, but he should have probably had a conversation with his wife instead of getting mad.
Yeah, it was his girlfriend.
How would you know?
It was his girlfriend.
Or girlfriend, whatever. But how would you know?
I didn't.
That's the thing.
I had no idea he was there. Yep, I had no idea he was there. So that's just a prime example. And you guys,
yes,
we've gone on and on. This is So
we're in part 2 now.
Oh yeah, this was a 2-part.
That's okay.
This is the second. This is part 2. You just listened to.
But it's going to be fun.
So www.lanaanddave.com. You can find all our stuff there. Remember, there's going to be some cool stuff coming out for iPhone users with iPhone users that listen to the podcast on their iPhones. There's going to be different things that you're going to be able to do with it. I don't know yet, but there's a new release coming out, and it's got a lot to do with podcasts. So that should be pretty interesting. And we'll keep you posted on that when I find out more information. So,
and meanwhile, it's we're into like July, so here comes July 4th. I hope everybody's going to have a good holiday.
I hope. Yeah. You guys have a spectacular and safe holiday, and we'll catch you guys next week. I've been David.
I have been Lana.
And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye-bye. Hey, you just listened to Love and Life with Lana and Dave. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please share the podcast, leave us a comment or review, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new content. We'll see you soon.